Welcome back. The details. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi directed the continuation of the government's initial public offerings IPOs program for the state's companies during the coming period to expand the ownership base of stock market indices and to encourage direct investments in various sectors. The president's remarks came during his meeting on Sunday with Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli and a number of ministers to follow up the developments of the IPOs program. Meanwhile, the Minister of Finance reviewed the state scheme for the current fiscal year concerning the program and the nominated companies within the framework of the stocks transaction. The central bank governor also reviewed the participation of the banking sector in this domain. Regarding the government's plan for vehicles industry, the president instructed to boost the national industry for electric cars to meet with the international market needs. We are still with the presidential activities and meetings of today. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi directed to enhance cooperation with the international development partners in the fields of environment and green transmission within the national project for upgrading lacks across the country. President al-Sisi ordered to reach the utmost developmental cooperation that boosts the state's efforts in achieving comprehensive and sustainable development in all domains. This came in another meeting with the Prime Minister and Minister of International Cooperation on Sunday. During the meeting, the President was briefed on the progress report of a number of ongoing national projects, including projects of climate change and decent life presidential initiative. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry starts a visit to Germany on Sunday as the appointed head of the 27th round of the UN Climate Change Agreement Conference. He is to arrive in Bonn to visit the Administrative Secretariat of the UN Climate Change Protocol. Shoukry is to hold talks with the officials from the Secretariat within the framework of preparations to host the upcoming COP27 conference in Egypt due later this year in the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. Officials said the talks focus on building upon what has been achieved during the last Glasgow COP26 conference and efforts to fight climate change. Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Ghait said that despite the circumstances and obstacles posed by the coronavirus pandemic, there is still an opportunity to implement the Sustainable Development 2030 agenda. He was speaking at the inauguration of the fourth vision of the Arab Week of Sustainable Development held at the Arab League headquarters with the partnership of the Planning and Economic Development Ministry in Egypt, the International Bank and the European Union. The activities of the Arab Week of Sustainable Development held under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi entitled Together for Sustainable Development, aiming to ease the repercussions and negative impacts of the coronavirus pandemic. The 32nd Conference of the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs concluded its activities on Sunday. The conference was held under the title of Citizenship and its Impact on Achieving Social and Global Peace. The conference discussed means of spreading moderate concepts and summit distinguished the relationship between Muslims and others. It also tackled consolidating the foundations of loyalty, equality, and taking the interests of the nations as a first priority. In its daily coronavirus report, the Ministry of Health reported 2,145 new cases and